Hey there guys, I have for you here the Husqvarna 13-inch curved handle hatchet. Now, interesting thing is, let's give it a measurement. So on the Amazon it says it's 13 inches. If we measure it from the top of the axe head, right here, it's actually 15. If you measure from the bottom, it's about 12 3/4. So I'm not sure how they measured it, but I guess they must have measured it from the bottom, or they must have miswritten the title. Let's measure the axe head itself. From the hole to the cutting edge, 6 inches. The length of the cutting edge is 3 1/4. Let's get the weight. Lay it down. 2 pounds, 3 ounces. So pretty heavy for a little axe, but for a little hatchet, but really nice feel to it. And we'll do a little chop test with it. Now let me talk a little bit about the features here. So it says Husqvarna, has their maker's sign. Maker's sign also stamped out on the axe head. It says hand forged, made in Sweden. Really nice steel, very comparable to the Grand Force Brook axes, made in Sweden as well, like those, but a lot cheaper. So a good idea to go with one of these if you want to save some money. On the back here it says hickory. Just says not to hit the back of the axe head here with another sledgehammer or something, and then not to use for hitting stakes, but you could probably do that carefully if it was a wooden stake or something. The reason they say that is they don't want this to spread out from the force and then come off. Now in terms of the grain, I love this. Check this out. Look how tight that grain is on there, and it's vertical, or it's parallel with the axe head. So you want that because that prevents snapping and breaking when you're hitting really hard here. That grain gives you a lot more strength than if it was like this. Okay. Has a really nice wide entrance here. I mean, you can see that piece of wood going through there. That's really wide and strong. That's going to stay strong for a long time, even with a lot of abuse. Over here we have a wooden wedge, and we have a metal wedge also. Pretty nicely made. Has a little bit of cracking on the edges, but that's not a big deal. It also mushrooms out pretty well. Let me do that. Mushrooms out pretty well, so it's going to stay really tight on there. Okay. So there we go. Now the edge, of course, I've kind of polished it up. I've also reprofiled it a little bit, and I've put a nice edge on it. It didn't come as sharp, but I mean, there's a lot of people online now showing you how to do this. And thanks to Wrangler Star, who I watched, his channel, he did gave me a lot of good information about how to sharpen an axe, and also I started looking into Husqvarna axes because of his channel and what I've learned from him. So check his channel out for axes and such. He's got a lot of really good information. So there we go. It's pretty simple to put an edge on an axe. You just need a couple sandstones and a little bit of knowledge, and you can do it yourself. Okay, so the handle, there's a nice taper here on the back, and that just feels really nice in the hand. If you take your hand and squish a piece of clay, it'll make a kind of a cone shaped similar to this. Now it's not tapered out this way, just actually very, very slightly tapered out this way. And they do that to save wood, but it's still tapered out, or widened out here on the back, so it just feels really nice on the hand. And we'll go chop with this and see how it performs. Now, in terms of the edge, after I put that edge on there, we'll see how it cuts. I have a magazine that's been laying out here for a little bit. It's kind of moist now, but let's see if this thing can cut. I'd say that's pretty sharp. And we'll see how that cuts after we chop with it a little bit. Now the little sheath they have on here is pretty horrible. I do not like it at all. First of all, you can remove it. That was even after an adjustment here with resewing this little piece and making it shorter to try to make it tighter. And it still comes off ridiculously easy. That's just unacceptable. The other thing, there's no welt in here. So these rivets, they go all the way through and they go right up to the blade. So if you have the blade in here and you hit that, those rivets will cut into the blade. Now some think, well, okay, this is a harder steel than this, or whatever, this is brass, it shouldn't. Well, when this came to me in the mail, it had a chip in it from one of these rivets, so that's just horrible. Plus it doesn't hold on there. I mean, this is junk. So that's going out to the garbage or somewhere. And I have this handmade one from my dad, so check that out. This is way better, okay? First of all, it has a nice welt. It's cowhide, and it's about 1/8 of an inch thick cowhide, raw cowhide, hand sewn, hand stitched. Has nice rivets on the edges to support that. So the inside, also you can see that welt. Well, you can't really see it really well on the video probably, but basically the blade of the axe is never going to cut into the strand until it cuts through the leather. I mean, that's going to take quite a bit of force to get it through that leather, and plus the rivets are not going to touch the edge either, so that's really nice. And then it's formed to this axe head specifically, so you can see when that goes in there, it's like a glove, and without even clipping that on, that stays on there. It's just really well formed and really easy to pull out and put back in. And then it has this nice strap with a snap to hold on. And I'd say that that looks pretty beautiful right there. So if you guys want one of these, send me a message. There might be a link also for them online. If you're interested, let me know and we can arrange something. Let's go chop some wood. So let's put our hand on this tree here. We've kind of trying to thin out some of the forest here, and this tree is too close to the other one. So here we go. Let's do a little chopping. See how fast I can chop this tree down. Let me get some of these branches out of the way first. You can see that chops pretty nicely. All right, here we go. There we go. I'm slightly winded, but I think I did a pretty good chopping job. I have paper? Nope. You guys can see how smoothly that's chopping through stuff there. With ease, I'd say. Now let's do a little cutting test here after we've chopped a little bit with that, and see if it still has an edge. Soggy newspapers, still cutting. I'd say that that's a nice steel. You know, this is not the hardest wood, but after chopping through a tree and chopping bunch of branches, it's still sharp as a razor, shaving sharp. So there you have the Husqvarna 15-inch crib handle hatchet. Thumbs up if you like my videos and if you like the reviews, and ask any questions, and we'll be in touch later. Enjoy the channel and enjoy the outdoors. Praise God.